Welcome, modern day mystics, fellow truth seekers, James and Justin, back again with another reaction video, and we are going to be taking a look at another nerd robot video. This one is on demons, and different religions.
Demonology.
That's right. Well, we won't keep you waiting. Let's get into it.
Beelzebub is often associated with Christianity as a demon. The name means Lord of the Flies, and he is sometimes considered a major demon. Beelzebub appears in the Bible as a figure of evil and corruption. In Christian traditions, he is seen as one of Satan's main helpers. Stories about Beelzebub highlight the battle between good and evil. People believed he could cause illness and bring misfortune.
I gotta stop right away because I did not know that.
Did I?
I thought Beelzebub was Satan. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I kind of thought that too.
I did not know that. But
well, seems like there's different brands of Christianity.
That's true too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's certain things that really go off into the, you only get fed certain themes depending on the church that you
We were
go
from
to.
the evangelical branch.
Yeah.
Western
Nazarene
evangelical.
specifically.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
In Judaism, Behemoth is a giant creature mentioned in the Hebrew Bible. Described as a powerful land beast, it symbolizes strength. Behemoth is believed to live in a faraway place, often associated with the wilderness. In Jewish tradition, this creature represents the chaos that existed before creation. The tales of Behemoth are meant to illustrate God's power over even the mightiest beings. Its story is often told during religious studies. In Islamic folklore, a Marid is a powerful and rebellious spirit. They are often depicted as the most dangerous type of Jinn. These beings are said to live in remote places like the sea or deserted areas. Marids are known for their incredible strength and ability to grant wishes, but only if they are captured. Islamic stories describe them as difficult to control and very independent. They are often portrayed as large and imposing figures. In Hindu mythology, Rakshasas are powerful demons. They are often depicted as fierce warriors with supernatural abilities. Rakshasas can change their shape and use magic to deceive people. Hindu epics like the Ramayana feature stories of heroes battling these demons. These tales are used to teach lessons about bravery and righteousness. Rakshasas symbolize the dark forces that exist within and around us. Mara is a figure in Buddhism representing temptation and death. He is known as the Evil One who tried to seduce Buddha with visions of beautiful women. Mara symbolizes the obstacles that hinder spiritual enlightenment. Buddhist teachings use Mara to explain the internal and external struggles on the path to nirvana. His story is central to the lesson of overcoming desires and fears. Mara's attempts to distract Buddha highlight the importance of focus and determination.
Now, Mara kind of seemed more like a symbolic-y type of a demon, where the other ones are like actual literal entities there. And what stuck out with the Islam one was like you could catch them. It said in that video that like you could catch them. Well, if anyone's caught one, let's see it on camera. I'd love to see that. And one of the things that kind of stuck out in here is that they're all humanoid in nature, at least from what we've seen in this video. Although, this is a nerd robot video. Who knows? Maybe some of them have, 20 arms and 10 heads. I don't know.
It would be, what would kind of be interesting to me would be if anybody watching this has had an encounter with something like this and they could write in and be like, you know what, I encountered this type of thing, Because you're right, some of this is artists' particular depiction. You could go off and research this yourself and be like, well, that one sounds interesting, and you could go research it, or maybe something sticks out to you because it feels like something you've encountered.
Yeah.
All that's interesting to know.
Like, how are you encountering this? Is in the depths of the night when you're alone? Mm-hmm. Has anyone encountered it in broad daylight?
And perception seems to play a key here. Mara, the one that comes to you to tempt you before enlightenment. It's almost almost sounds like a duty at that point. Like, when you're about to be enlightened, I show up and I tempt you with all the things of the world, and you resist that, and then you get in your enlightenment or whatever, right? Women or whatever it is that he entices you with. And Jesus had a similar thing when he was in the desert. He was
tempted.
encountered Satan.
Yeah.
And Satan tried to tempt him, and did similar story. Go figure, right?
Yeah.
As usual. I think perception plays a little bit of a key here too. I learned a word recently, Kasad Guru was talking about it, the Naga. They're like these snake entities or something.
Yeah.
And he, like, in passing, seemed like almost was like, they have been like a staple of major events in my life. These Naga appear to me when I'm like different eventful things that were happening, Sadhguru was saying. And it's a snake-like thing. And then you think of the perception of snakes. You think of the snake in the Garden of Eden that tempted Eve and all this stuff. And Sadhguru saying that, at least this is what I took from you. You can go do your own research. That he was almost like, that's not what they're about. That they've entered in, and similar with Osho, when he was a young boy, he had kind of a satori experience up in a tree, and a giant snake went over his legs while he was like having kind of like a satori in this tree or whatever when he was a young person. And so I wonder about perception and the roles these demons may play and what was really going on here, especially from like a non-dual perspective. If everything's one, what role are these things playing?
Yeah.
In the ultimate.
Well, maybe the ultimate thing is for them to kind of cause us to face our deepest, darkest fear.
Yeah.
Because what's more scarier than like horns sticking out and teeth and like this powerful controlling thing that you can't beat.
Well,
it's like facing it head on.
But if you and if you do face it head on, I think there's different ways to approach it. I think like a naive fool who's like, I'm going to conjure some demons, might get into more trouble than it's worth. I'm not trying to judge anybody. I'm just saying, be careful too. If you're like think it's fun to go find a place where there's said to be demons and you're just because you're looking for a rush, you might get bit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think of the verse, greater is he that is in me than that which is in the world, which is sometimes when you face the dark night of the soul or the darkness that's going on, you battle it and you wrestle it, you come out being like, I think it's possible that, Satan could be at the end of your bed and you'd be like, what do you want? There's a famous Smith Wigglesworth story where he woke up and rolled over and Satan was at the foot of his bed and he just went back to bed. He was like, oh, it's just Satan. Do these things have power over you? Are they making you be terrified? Or are they obstacles that you go, I see you, I'm not going to ignore the evil that's there, but at the same time, I will think on you no more. Because you don't serve a purpose for me anymore in this way.
In Shinto belief, Oni are malevolent spirits or demons. They are often depicted with sharp claws, wild hair, and large bodies. Oni are believed to bring misfortune and disaster. During festivals like Setsubun, people throw beans to ward off these evil spirits. Shinto traditions use the image of Oni to teach about the balance between good and evil. The presence of Oni in stories serves as a warning against bad behavior. Yaoguai are supernatural creatures in Taoist folklore. They are often the spirits of animals or objects that have gained magical powers. Yaoguai can be either good or evil, depending on their actions. Taoist stories about Yaoguai emphasize balance and the natural order. These creatures teach about the consequences of disrupting harmony. The tales often involve heroes who restore balance by overcoming Yaoguai. Nian is a monster in Chinese folklore, often linked to Confucian traditions. It is said to come out every new year to eat livestock and people. The people discovered that Nian feared loud noises and the color red. This led to the tradition of setting off fireworks and decorating homes with red during the Lunar New Year. Confucian teachings incorporate these practices to promote community and tradition. Nian's story is an example of overcoming fear through unity. In ancient Greek mythology, Cyclops are one-eyed giants. They are known for their immense strength and craftsmanship. Cyclops were said to forge Zeus's thunderbolts and other powerful weapons. Greek stories like those in the Odyssey describe encounters with these formidable beings. Cyclops symbolize the raw, untamed forces of nature. Their stories often include themes of ingenuity and courage in overcoming great obstacles. Asanbosam is a vampire-like creature in Akan folklore from West Africa. It is described as having iron teeth and iron hooks for feet. Asanbosam lives in the forests and attacks those who wander too close. Akan stories about Asanbosam serve as warnings to respect nature, and stay close to home. These tales often include moral lessons about caution and awareness. Asan Bosam's frightening appearance and habits emphasize the dangers of the unknown.
God's demons.
Yeah, sharp, quick end on that one. I don't know why I was thinking this, but I was kind of like thinking about the evolution of demons and where they might be, 100, 200 years from now. Will like Freddy Krueger or Jason or like the, Michael Myers end up in the, pantheon of demons?
Yeah, well, if you're some sort of a chaos magician, you could probably like conjure Freddy Krueger or conjure Jason and, have a conversation with them or something.
Yeah. And not to try and make light of the demons that are, held as serious entities. I'm just saying that I'm just curious about what we might do with some of the darker sides of our imagination later on in our future.
Good, well said. Darker sides of our imagination. I'm thinking non-dualism here, and I'm thinking, that's why I said God's demons. I'm thinking we're choosing to like look at this. We're choosing to just take a risk and, we're going to look at this for a moment here. But you can also avert your eyes from this. You can learn these things and maybe there's some utility in it, but you can always set it down and be like, I'm not doing that. I knew somebody one time that was really seemed to be plagued with fear. And they were starting to feel like the supernatural was kind of starting to bleed into their life in fearful ways. And then I discovered that they were watching a lot of scary stuff. And my suggestion was, don't watch any more scary stuff.
Yeah.
That was what I thought was a good thing to do, because I noticed that with myself. If I'm putting a lot of, cosmic horror, maybe not cosmic horror, but just, terrifying supernatural horror into my mind, then when I turn the lights off and I'm heading up the stairs, there's some part of me is kind of like looking around, because I've got that image of glowing eyes looking at me from the corner.
Yeah.
So what you're filling your mind with may have an impact on your reality. You can always just choose to not think about that for the time being.
Yeah.
And depending on where you're at, you might be like, now's the time for me to look into that. And you'll learn what that has to offer.
Yeah. When you're looking at demons, there's many ways you can kind of approach it. And I'm always for trying to look at some neat abstract ways of trying to see these things. And the idea of empathy for these demonic creatures was kind of coming to my mind. Is there any room out there for the release or the freedom of the dark entities that be? Like you sometimes say, all Satan has to do is say, I'm sorry, God, I repent, or whatever, and then the whole gig's up, right? Mm. What about the demons? What about all the entities that are involved with playing the role? Maybe the thing that's keeping there is the idea that we keep them there by not releasing them. What's keeping them in their evil?
Right, by telling the story over and over again of them being this way.
Yeah. What if we said, we forgive you, so it's time to come back to the good side. Come back to the good side and be angels again. Or be whatever it was you were again.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting place to take it. For sure, because at the end of the day, these are our demons. These are our demons that we're aware of and writing about. And I know somebody out there might want to really project it out there and be like, no, you don't understand. Evil's evil, good's good. You got to defeat evil, and that's that. But it's like, the light of awareness, God's light, the light of love, the light of whatever, historically, demons recoil in God's light.
Yeah.
Jesus didn't have to do much when he encountered demons, and they would recoil away or dissipate or whatever.
Yeah.
He could easily deal with them. And people that are, in many religions, that are virtuous and the good, the demons are under their foot.
Yeah.
It depends on how much you want to play with the power of evil versus the power of good. But essentially, the light of awareness at the end of it should dispel the suffering that comes with these things.
Yeah.
They may be there to test you, to tempt you, whatever. But in the light of awareness and goodness, I feel like that should dissipate some of the demonic forces.
I don't care. I gotta get it. There's a picture here. There you can see it on the camera there. Right? I don't know. Maybe what does that say to you?
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
How long does someone have to burn and suffer in chains of infinity before, you know.
Well, I mean,
and
especially
who needs them there?
Well, I mean, especially when it's a story, for Pete's sake.
Yeah.
And somebody may be like, look, it's not a story, okay? I lived in a haunted house. These things tormented me like crazy till I got a priest in.
Yeah.
But as long as you are telling a story and making depictions of it and creating a narrative out of it in a certain way, you're revivifying the difference there, the evil versus the good. As long as that dichotomy is important to you. Yeah. But if you can lay it to rest, it doesn't mean that all of a sudden... I don't think what you're suggesting is like an embracing of things that we all kind of, from a human perspective, find reprehensible. Yeah. I don't think that that's the point. No. I think that you're saying that the demonic, the fear in you, if instead of judging it and criticizing it and resisting it, you kind of met it with a little bit of like, you just met it with acceptance and compassion. Yeah. It may alchemize into something else. Yeah, maybe that's the point.
Well, that also, and the need to keep something in like punished. Hell was a punishment meant for Satan and demons, and I get the feeling that in a lot of like religious beliefs that is the idea behind these creatures, is that they're like sent away. You will do these evil, terrible things because that's what you've been crowned with for, you know, trying to do something bad or something that you shouldn't have done. Yeah, and when I think of like judgment and internal punishments and stuff like that, I'm like, how long until you're satiated? How long until God or whoever put them there needs to be like, okay, it's infinity. I need you to suffer for infinity. Well, like, does God need them to suffer for infinity? Or is it us that need something to suffer for infinity? Yeah. Like, yes. When do we say it's okay? Like, because then what's darker? The thing that they did or the thing that you're doing? Yeah. Like, I just...
Right, and the only infinity I'm aware of is right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I understand the concept of time and everything that, but it's like, in the light of right now, you're cool with just something in permanent torment?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Release that torment already, for Pete's sake.
Yeah. So, anyway, we've gone on here on a tangent. Hopefully you guys liked our reaction here. If you did, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, share this with a friend, and everyone until next time,
stay spiritual.